Hello and welcome to the Dugout. Like most days, we are late, but today we have a genuine reason for being late because we spent a lot of time contemplating should we be discussing anything related to the IPL with what has happened in the last 12 hours or so. More than 12 hours now, it is close to 18 hours. And then we thought that yes, the show must go on in the sense that India's I think it's fair to call them surgical strikes. That's exactly what India has done. So after that, it might have an impact on the IPL, and that's a tournament that we've been covering continuously here on Sports Today. So we thought that let's try and address some questions as to what happens to the IPL in terms of the games that are to be played, especially in cities where air operations have been suspended. We thought we'll touch upon that, and also this will also give us some sort of time to engage in some question answer session with you, as is the norm. And so our evenings are incomplete without having an interaction with you guys. So basis on that, we thought let's have the Dugout any which way. Okay.
Frantic night, no? Because we were here when we started with one match. The coverage went into the second day. By that time, there's another match that started and it had our attention as well. Now, while that match was into, and I'm referring to the Champions League match between Inter Milan and Barcelona, while that match was reaching its closing stages, there was drama over there. And just when that was happening, we got that news break of India carrying out strikes across 3 locations in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. So when I look back at, sporting days that we've had, and we all recall, I think it was the 4th of July, 2019, where you had all 3 finals take place together. You had the F1.
July 14th.
14th or 4th, whatever.
14th. July 14th.
Yeah, that, remains in our memory. And I think yesterday as well, not comparing because this occasion's a little different, but suddenly there was an influx of information. We as sports buffs were looking at cricket first, then there was football to track, and then so much came our way. It led to a lot of frenzy, and it's a day in the life of a journalist, I think, which we may all be taking forward in our memories for a long, long time.
May 7th was a repetition of July 14th. But of course...
No, very different scale, yeah. 3 sporting final versus...
3 thrillers with 2 thrillers plus a political... military action that happened. It was very dramatic. And
you saw arguably the match of the tournament so far yesterday for the quality of cricket that we saw.
What happened on the borders just transcends.
Exactly.
Yeah. No matter how many sporting finals happen.
You're going to see warfare in the modern era. You're seeing various shades of it. And this yesterday, first part of it was played. You're going to see more shades of it coming on and on.
You think it is going to continue? It's going to... The escalation will continue, or do you think...
I am no political or strategic expert to say whether it will continue or that is up to...
Harshit can say he did the shift.
Yes, he did.
You tell us.
No, but I'm no expert either, but from what we've seen from 2 occasions now, 2019 and now 2025, referring to Balakot and what happened yesterday, I think that there is a stark difference. Back then, the Pakistan of that time wasn't willing to accept and was trying to portray an image to the entire world. Remember, they were willing to take the media as well, and they took the media back then, but they took them to locations where things hadn't happened, and that was exactly the argument India had made. This time, there was an instant admission. There were visuals that you could not, prove as incorrect or say that fake news is being peddled by India. So often is the case across the border. They don't like taking things that are presented as proof from us. This time, I think the narrative to the build-up and what happened yesterday very different to what we saw 5 years back in Balakot in the Balakot strikes. This time, Pakistan does give you an impression that the build-up has been such it may not die down very soon. They've been nudging for a while now, but and that wasn't really the stance last time. So there's been a nudge from Pakistan this time, and the sloganeering, the commentary that's happening in Pakistan around this event, in the build-up to this event rather, has been that of some sort of a pushback will be there. to what extent they are willing to challenge India and the Indian army, that is something that Pakistan will have to decide. India is prepared, as we know, but it doesn't look like the same situation all over again. It does look like this Pakistan is ready for a little bit of pushback. They'll obviously have to mind their boundary with India, and but I do think that it may not just die down immediately.
Okay, what happens to the IPL? I think that's the important question.
Okay, so there were two major developments in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor. Indigo Airlines issued an advisory that they were shutting down flight operations in certain sectors. The sectors and the areas that were mentioned was Amritsar, Jammu, Srinagar, Leh, Bikaner, Dharamshala, Gwalior. Now the mention of Dharamshala and Chandigarh also in that meant that one venue where the IPL matches are currently going to take place on May 8th and May 11th are under the scanner. Punjab Kings versus the Delhi Capitals, Punjab Kings versus the Mumbai Indians. Now, for how long will those air restrictions remain? And there is also another thing that because Dharamshala, if you play in the night, maybe because it's just the border is also very nearby. Who knows, maybe Pakistan can use that and ensure that they inflict some losses. So there is a lot of debate whether the Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings encounter is either rescheduled. Same with Mumbai Indians versus Punjab Kings. Also cancellations on the cards. Also. But with no flight operations, how will the teams come back? It is by
Even
road.
Air India suspended flights, right?
Until 12 p.m. today.
But that was today.
Only till today, when it started, until 12 p.m. today, Air India had suspended operations. But Indigo has enforced its operation, the suspension, even now for the whole day. 8th, what will happen to the match? How will the teams come back from Dharamshala? It's by road. They'll have to come to Delhi, and then from Delhi, they'll have to take the flight or whatever they'll have to do next. Same for Mumbai, that's what's been proposed. But now we are hearing Mumbai PBKS encounter might happen at Wankhede. And Delhi PBKS, maybe you can reschedule it either on a Saturday or maybe the next Saturday. Because
Or you bring it to Delhi then.
No, how? Delhi, you have one game against GT.
Like you're giving
But,
Mumbai.
I think it then becomes a major advantage to the team. For example, Mumbai are supposed to play away from home, and then they get to play that game at home. Of course, Punjab will feel hard done by that. That's for starters. And secondly, I think the more accurate decision would be, or a more fairer decision would be, either to reschedule it. That could be
at
one
the
option.
same venue at a later time.
Yeah, reschedule it exactly, so that no team feels aggrieved. Reschedule it to a later date. But if you're not certain, that you don't know how the situation is, because that's also fluid, and if there is likely to be an escalation, then on that front also you can't really reschedule. You don't know which day you'll be able to do it. Then I think the second option is then to have it at a neutral venue. At least in that sense, just neutralize the advantage, because from playing away to getting to play at home completely changes it. If you make it a neutral venue, I think it will become slightly better.
I totally agree with that, because the moment that you give, and it's not about Mumbai Indians, it's about any team. And Mumbai Indians, just in their case, they enjoy home advantage a little more than the other teams. They've got a prouder record as well. So giving it to Mumbai then is playing into the hands of the Mumbai Indians, and it gives them slight advantage, especially in the context of where the table is right now. People can feel aggrieved, the Punjab fans, because you don't know there are 3 teams fighting for 2 spots right now. So I feel the fair call will be to have it either in Delhi, whatever, if you want to have it midway, and if Delhi, given the national security right now, if you're allowed to have a match in Delhi, go ahead and have it in Delhi, or
you could have it in any of the neutral, say like Ranchi, you can have it in Cuttack, you can have it in Raipur, Indore.
You take it to Eden for that matter. If you don't want to have it closer to the Pakistan border, you take it to the other side.
You can take it in the other, say for example, the venues that I propose. See, what you ideally...
Those venues, Siddharth, may not be ready if they're not hosting any IPL games.
So
use a venue that is using...
Which has already... Or you take it to Guwahati. You had at the Barsapara matches, 2 matches take place.
That's immaterial. Whether you played in Ahmedabad, Eden, Delhi, Guwahati, wherever you play.
Exactly. And many people are saying, why can't you have it in Mullanpur? I'm sorry, you can't have it because even in Chandigarh, the flight operations have been
Yeah,
suspended.
New Chandigarh it is, na?
Yes, yes. So that is why, because I think in the proximity of Ambala Air Force Base, I think that is the reason why they have suspended even air traffic in Chandigarh also. Dharamshala, because Kangra is very nearby, and that's why.
It is the Kangra district only.
Kangra district, no, the border with
The
Pakistan.
Kangra border, okay.
Yeah, so that's why. So Amritsar border again. So that is also very I mean,
No,
Jammu,
you'll have
Srinagar,
to
Leh.
move to the
Interiors where it's tier 2
either
preparation. in that
interiors or
sense.
you'll have to move eastern. You can't have it anywhere close to the western border. You'll have to go
Could have it in
eastern.
Vizag is the hometown of Delhi Capitals.
There are many options. I think that is immaterial. There are 4 or 5 different venues that are hosting IPL games. You could have it there, but on a larger point, I mean, even if those games are suspended, even if IPL is suspended, I don't see.
Is there
anyone-
that conversation?
There is no conversation, but I'm saying if you are at the situation, this is a controllable situation. The good thing is, as at the moment, no overseas player or anybody has expressed any sort of concern. But if that was to happen, and you can't really stop a player if he wants to, for his own safety or family safety, wants to pull out, and that's happened in the past. If they were to do it, and why just that? I think if the situation does escalate and you're involved in a fierce battle in that sense, the two countries, then it's best not to have the IPL simultaneously running. It would make no sense. Then no harm in suspending it. Whether you try and finish it later in the year is another thing, or even if it doesn't get finished, I don't think there should be any issue.
See, if you look at the backdrop of a war, okay, you would remember that Saudi Arabia and Yemen, they were indulged in a war, right? The most iconic photo that I can think of, I think the Jeddah Corniche Grand Prix was happening. And 10 miles away from the circuit, there was a missile that the Yemeni rebels had fired. And it lit up the sky, but then the race was still going on. We are expecting, maybe if there's an escalation, Pakistan does any kind of thing, say, on the eastern front or the western front or whatever they want to do in that sense. Is it okay to have the IPL at this point in time?
No.
Maybe not.
No. Why? Maybe not. How can you have a sporting activity going on when your own soldiers are fighting for you on the border? I'm saying whether it affects the IPL or not, and whether you have the games to the eastern side or whatever away from the border, it just doesn't add up.
There is a problem with that narrative.
What is the problem?
We have been fighting that enemy state, but we have continued.
No, but there has been no skirmishes. No, there are
There's
no
an escalation.
There are. You are actually going into each other's territory. If that is to be the case, I don't know. You can't. I'm saying, imagine the whole country is glued to that, and you're worried about. You got to be mindful of the number of personnel that will be there, and if there is any sort of escalation, there'll be lives lost. There are families of those people. Do you justify having a fun and frolic in the evening? Because the IPL, quite frankly, is that. So I don't think it just adds up. I'm telling you, if at the moment the situation seems under control, there has been no escalation. But imagine if it was to be. Would you and I like watching a match? Let alone talk about it in the night.
Code red.
Yeah. So
if there is an escalation, code red. Then you have to ensure that safety first. You
Correct.
can't.
Absolutely.
Correct.
It's about.
Also, there is an escalation.
I think minds get diverted right now. You can't be enjoying the sport when there is something major happening at the border, when this is a matter of life and death. And it's about the sovereignty of the nation as well. When the sovereignty of the nation's under a cloud and a threat from a rebel nation, a rogue nation at that, then I think this is the time for you, regardless of what your political ideology may be, regardless of what opinion you have about the dispensation, about the politics of the country, this is the time to back the forces and you just adhere to what the government direction is. As the BCCI has also said, they will follow what the MHA and the Defence Ministry is going to be telling them. And
plus, I think the whatever said and done, whether BCCI wants to have it or not, I know this for a fact that your overseas players, if there is any sort of escalation, will want to go home.
Yes, they will.
And in a scenario like that, even if you want to have an IPL, it just throws the balance off for majority teams,
Also,
and you can't have
happen
it.
in IPL 2021.
Yes, absolutely. See, it's right to life after all. And if you if you feel endangered over here, if you don't feel safe,
You and I are from this country, and we would
so we
want to
relate
be,
to it.
yes, we relate to it. We want to be part of it.
But if we were
why
in
should-
Israel right now, let's
Yeah.
say for a competition, there's no way
We'd want to stay there.
Exactly,
Completely.
Especially when you have, let's say, history with Gaza. I'm not going to be staying in that country. Or if I'm in Ukraine right now for a TT competition, let's say, or playing football out there, I'm not going to be feeling safe. And it's not just about me, it's about the family as well. We tend to forget that there's families as well involved over here. They may not be seen on the field of play, but players' decision is also often driven by, as it should be, by family members. They do care. It is exactly for this reason, safety of the players, that we didn't want to go to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. It's the safety that was paramount. And in many ways, BCCI, look at it in hindsight, stands corrected. Yes, it's taken a terror attack for the world to see what has happened, but this is exactly the dossiers that we'd presented to the ICC back in the day. This was all because of the proof which Pakistan was denying even back then. And now the world seeing.
The BCCI for once got things right even much before that. But it had to be paid in blood in March 2009 when the Sri Lankan team were attacked in Lahore. When you look at it and you look at the prevailing situation even now, what has changed in Pakistan, I really don't know. Pakistan was and still is a terror state. Nothing's changed in Pakistan. Yes, there may be optics saying that, okay, Pakistan are welcoming the teams and everything. But I'm sorry. A rogue nation will want to portray anything which suits their narrative and peddle lies to the rest of the world. Otherwise, BCCI have proven right in March 1, 2009. It took 6 years. Actually, that was the mistake that the rest of the cricketing world did. You shouldn't have come back to Pakistan. You should have let them be isolated in that sense. It was a golden chance. That was a one-time. Nations, so-called nations, agreed that there was a terror scourge in Pakistan. But conveniently, they decided, okay, let us not go there. Let us not go there. And, we think time has elapsed. Zimbabwe. Let the guinea pigs be Zimbabwe. And then let there be a World 11. And then, okay, the guinea pigs did their bit. Now let the others come.
The Englands and the Australians.
The Englands and the Australians. And New Zealand, they got one whiff, they went out. Look at how they were trolled. For all the security concerns that they had. For them, if only the Pakistanis had understood that New Zealand were part of 3 terror attacks. Their cricket team escaped by a whisker each and every time. In 87, 92, 2002. 2002 was in Pakistan, but 1987-92 was in Sri Lanka at the height of the civil war. So, that's the way. And teams took longer to ensure, okay, let's not go to Sri Lanka. When there has been no history of them targeting teams. It was only the army. But no, no nation visited Sri Lanka from 1987 to 1992. No nation did. That's the way.
But coming back to the IPL, is there an official word yet? I believe not, but there's hectic parlays as we speak as well. There's a lot of conversation happening though.
They will have to make it quickly because tomorrow is the match. Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings, the match is tomorrow, and Punjab Kings versus Mumbai Indians is on 11th May. So they will have to make the decision either by tonight or they'll have to make it early morning tomorrow. Because how will they arrange for the logistics? It has to be done by today.
Have the Delhi team reached there already?
They were already there. Before the Operation Sindoor happened, they were already there. Today they were expected to come for a press conference, but that press conference has been delayed because of rain. Because of rain in Dharamshala. So that's why we have got it from the official BCCI group that yes, it was delayed, but not because of anything else. But they were already there, the Delhi team. So they'll have to make a decision by tonight. Either to reschedule it.
Earlier.
Yeah, either as we speak, they should be making it, but nothing's come out yet from the BCCI.
Okay, let's take a few comments as to what is it that everyone is saying. Okay. Is there any Oatmeal Chat says, is there any possibility of absolutely no cricket with Pakistan for next few years? Of course, there is going to be a possibility of that. If you've seen an interview with Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, he came up with a solution, at least for the Asia Cup to begin with. But then after that is the ICC Women's World Cup, which will be played in neutral ground when it comes to an India-Pakistan game. But India not playing, how will that work out? We don't know. I think if that means forfeiting 2 points, I think India will have to take that, because isolating Pakistan at the moment to ensure ICC to get everyone on the same page may be tough for you to do.
Looking at past precedents, yet again it will be the same thing. You'll have all the bluster, but you'll still play.
You'll play them.
You'll play.
You will. When you had several more ghastly incidents happen.
I know. But there have been instances in the past, right? Where nations have chosen not to play and forfeited points.
It's never happened with cricket.
No, it has.
It has.
At the 96 World Cup
Yeah, but
in Sri Lanka.
but that was not because of hostility.
Yeah, but they chose for
They
whatever
chose, they
reason.
forfeited.
Even Zimbabwe, England, I remember.
Yes.
New Zealand, Kenya.
Yeah.
It's
Correct.
happened.
So
in
nations have
2003.
done that.
So you
yeah,
could do
but
that.
again, those came in the back. Okay, except England, Zimbabwe, where there were bilateral tensions between the two. But with the others, there was a terror threat that ensured, okay, we would not go there. So that's why they were willing to forfeit the points.
No, I have a feeling now the conversation around India-Pakistan games, even at neutral venues, I think changes now. Prior to this, yes, the understanding was till 27, no nation is going to be playing against each other, visiting each other and playing only at neutral venues. I think there's going to be a change in that conversation as well. As we heard from Gautam Gambhir, even though it was his personal opinion, not as the head coach of the side, just as a citizen of this country, he expressed his opinion. He said there shouldn't be any cricket at neutral venues either. I think now with what has happened, you've always hoped for a betterment in relationships, political relations, get better. But when civilians get targeted, the narrative completely changes.
In this case, I would like to have a wait and watch approach, because we've been there in this situation, been there, done that. All the bluster was there even after Pulwama. All the bluster is there even after
The difference was it was the army. Yes.
Sure.
But if you heard what Mr. Gavaskar said yesterday, I asked him specifically about the Women's World Cup, and that is the ICC tournament, on which he said that there's still time for that. We don't know what the situation is at that time.
It'll be in September, October. The Asia Cup is in September, starting. So that's why even your acid test is coming in August. When India go to Bangladesh, even that is now, we have got hostile relations with them.
Yeah, but
also.
I don't think it's a level where you're not going to be playing
you're not going
bilateral
to, but then
series.
see, it might deteriorate, it might not deteriorate. So, yes, the test will come in September.
Okay, freaking awesome says, although Pakistan is weak, we shouldn't take them lightly. They may retaliate. Better we don't take chances. Safety first, especially when players of other nations in our country. I think he's absolutely right. I think that should be the approach. And there is a good chance that, as we speak, there could be some sort of conversation that might be happening with the government circles and the top BCCI brass. And you might hear of something in the coming day or so. Shubham Garg is saying was a huge Saurav Ganguly fan, SG. Sunil Gavaskar. Same thing. Always called spade a spade, but was hurt to find he has an NRI status to avoid taxes. I know this super chat won't be taken, just sharing. Well, to begin with, you are wrong on one count, Shubham, and you're wrong in 2 counts actually, to let you know. Currently, he does not have an NRI status. So just so that you know as well. So on both counts, you're wrong. Your super chat was taken and what you've said is also wrong. So. Okay, Sarat Chandra is saying he had 2 heartbreaks in the last 3 hours.
MI and Barcelona.
I know.
You would relate to one heartbreak.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Because when you have a lot to say, then you better not say anything. So, exactly that. Okay, Rakesh Bhushan says, Nikhil, you say we should not mix formats, but it seems BCCI is doing that. Good IPL for Virat Kohli and Rohit is making them board
England flight.
Making them board England flight. In red ball post BGT, they failed in domestic matches also. I am with you, Rakesh. We have been with you. If you are and you are a regular watcher of Sports Today, we've said it. What the BCCI may be doing, we may not agree with them, but we just report what BCCI is thinking. And if they are thinking that, then I guess.
I mean, I've been telling you, if Rohit and Virat have a great IPL, are you not going to pick them? Of course you're going to pick them. BCCI can conveniently mix formats as and when it comes. So, in that sense. Oat Milk Chad is saying, have it in Mulanpur. No, you can't have it in
You
Mulanpur.
answered that.
Yeah, you just said that.
So, Shubham Garg, to answer your next question, who was Gautam Gambhir referring to? What you are saying is right. He was referring to that person, but doesn't mean whoever he's referring to, he's got his facts right. So it's as simple as that.
Gambhir is wrong on that aspect at least.
Yeah. He is partially right and partially wrong.
Yes.
So
Nashli is asking, Dharamshala se Pakistan border pass hai Mullanpur. But again, both you can't play. You can't play in Dharamshala, you can't play in Mullanpur.
You're not having it close to the border.
It's not about the border, I'm telling you, because Chandigarh, the nearest thing is Ambala Air Force Base.
Because yes, you're right. It's the firstly border, and of course, if you've got military establishments close by,
That will always get precedence in the case of an emergency like this.
Yes.
So that's why.
Rakesh Bhushan says off late Sunny is under scanner for his commentary. Even last night in the last over, what he said is being trolled. Do you think at this time Sunny says which he shouldn't? I don't know what he said for which he's
I
being.
have no idea.
I
Shivam, maybe
don't
can-
have any idea, but as soon as we do, we'll try and get back on that. But I think as I said, with most commentators, you're free to agree or disagree with them. That's all. At any point, you don't.
Those are opinions at the end of the day.
Can we go to the rest of the chats, please? Sure. Okay, we've got JM saying no IPL now. Maybe reschedule it for later. Sorry, RCB. Agle saal kapda. Oh, GM, I thought he was making a very valid point to begin with, and I said I'll agree with you. But now I realize he has a hidden motive that he doesn't want RCB to win. That's why he's saying that. Rohan Kale is saying throw Pakistan out of Asia Cup or replace it with BIMSTEC Cup or APAC Cup with Australia and New Zealand without Paka. Rohan, if you again are a watcher of Sports Today, this is an idea that Mr. Gavaskar had floated earlier. And maybe something that BCCI may act upon. Ashish Shandilya is saying to you, Siddharth.
Considering his remark that by month of August, September, all this will be forgotten in previous dugout. What does he think now? Will there be any type of cricket? Also, GG opposing it. Okay. GG opposed it in a different forum. But he isn't the government of India. He isn't the BCCI alone. You have all the bluster now. You had it even during Uri. You had it even during Pulwama. I have been far too involved in this to say it's a case of been there, done that. I'll wait until September. If they don't play this time, India and Pakistan on any forum, then I will say yes, finally after years and years, a difference has been made. But if they don't, and if they revert back to type, please note the time and the date today, what I said at that point.
Okay, Priyanshu says if Pakistan even attempts to do something in the next few days, IPL surely will be cancelled.
Absolutely.
I think he says it correctly. BG says play at Mullapur, Mumbai can fly to Delhi and then 3-hour bus ride to Chandigarh, vice versa, Punjab to Delhi se hi flight legi. So he thinks that can be done. But the issue is not just reaching there, but Mullapur is also close to the border. In the night, if you really need to go through a drill or you want lights off and things like that, that would not be possible. So it would be best to avoid that. It feels like that. But again, this is a fluid situation. We'll keep updating you as and when we find out more. Rupayan Guha Nyogi says IPL will happen as told by BCCI officials. Even the stadium except Eden Gardens are fully packed. When such situation arises, then BCCI will definitely stop, as Arun Dhumal sir said yesterday. Yeah, we have
given
that.
it an interview on Sports Today.
Yeah, it's all there. I know. But see, that was the situation. That interview happened before these surgical strikes. So after that, and again, as I said, the situation is fluid. You don't know if the other side retaliates. If they do, what is going to be India's reaction? So it'll all be based on that. If you can go down, please.
I think we have taken all the
we've
super
taken
chats
that.
now, yes.
Yeah, we have taken
We
that.
have taken it.
Okay. Akshay says, Nikhil, I told you whole Pakistan is terrorist. Stop praising these terrorist nations just because you ate their halwa. For you to have gone there and done a show with terrorist Afridi who talked ill about the army. I mean,
Do a show with Afridi.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What can I say? Firstly, Shahid Afridi is not a terrorist. Whatever Shahid Afridi has said, you are free to dislike it and disagree with it, and say whatever you want and to him and say about him. You are allowed to do that. Absolutely. Just as we are patriotic about our country, I'm sure the other people are. And if he said anything that is out of the line, he needs to be criticized, and for which media and people have criticized him. Firstly, that he's a sports person. I went on a show. You got to remember, I went on a show where I was invited, and so was he. Neither was it his show, neither was it my show. There are times where a lot of people, just to put it out, if you are a backer of any political party, or your favorite politician may have on some point or the other been on a show with somebody from a different political party who you despise. So is it that person's fault to be on that show with that other person? He is gone there to narrate his side of the story. Everything that I spoke about there was related to cricket. I did not discuss geopolitics. On most occasions, I even said that that is not my forte. I cover cricket. I was called on that show as a sports journalist, as a cricket journalist. They thought I was worthy enough to be on their show to talk about that, and I spoke about it. I was asked about India-Pakistan cricket relations. I answered that. My stance remains that. You can hear that out as well. And usually I don't want to answer, because a lot of people who ask me these questions are ill-informed themselves, or are barking up the wrong tree, or don't even understand anything. So, it's like you had a fight at your home, and then you go out on the road and you get into road rage with somebody else. So you don't understand what the cause is. So I don't, but because there's so many of you asking me a question, I thought I'll address one. And I am not answerable to any of you for that matter on that front. So I usually refrain from saying that. And most of the times if I answer, I will have valid arguments to prove that A, you don't understand the situation, or you're not intelligent enough to understand the situation, and you're not intelligent enough to understand the differentiation of that situation. But then one or two people I can answer, and that answer should serve for a lot of you.
Ray is saying BCCI should tell ICC that India doesn't play in ICC if Pakistan plays. ICC should choose. It's either India or Pakistan. When will they have that bargaining chip? I don't know.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
No, then
You can
get
other
the
nations can
BCCI
gang
to
up
do
on
it.
you, no?
You guys tweet to the BCCI and speak to the BCCI. BCCI is run by a lot of, if not directly, indirectly by many powerful politicians from across all parties. So I'm sure they have that power, and they should exercise that power. If the BCCI can do it or not, we are very small people to influence them. So you should, or you guys are much more powerful as sports fans. You should tell them, and maybe they'll listen to you.
Hope so.
Okay. We have a cricketing question from...
Sarthak Sehgal.
No, there is Sarthak. He's got a point.
Rahul Dravid Vinod. Yeah.
No, so Sarthak's point you can take. He says...
IPL cancel nahi hoga, sir. Okay. Match can be rescheduled to South India or Dubai. I think Mumbai is good option too if no naval operation, of Gujarat, if nothing on Karachi side, as both states have 3-4 stadium. I mean, yeah, you could do it in Rajkot, but again, the stadium has to be ready. It has to be prepared. Now, whether will there be time for that, I really don't know. So, that's why.
Vinod says, I heard you guys talking about Sai for test based on IPL, who averages 39 in first class. What's wrong with Baba Indrajit averaging 52 in first class and Shams Mulani as spinner? What's the point of domestic cricket then? He makes a valid point, but on that same yardstick, you've been carrying an opener who's scored a lot of runs in domestic cricket but doesn't even get a chance to play. I agree. You've reached a situation where one of your highest domestic run getter, Sarfraz, is selected in the team, but you have doubts about him playing in the 11, and you supersede other players ahead of him in the guise of getting all-rounders in. So that happens. That's unfortunate. But I think, while I don't think you have to look at IPL completely, but an IPL form will kind of help you in other formats. I know you're mixing format, but it does play a role in propping up the name, at least.
Okay, Shubham Garg saying, imagine it's RCB.
Final comment of the evening.
Imagine it's RCB versus PBK's final. IPL gets suspended just before final. Trophy gets shared. Saddest person will be Shashwat. DC will be OG trophyless. That's 1 in a million chance of happening though. If it has to happen, it has to happen now. Whatever it is. I don't think the IPL entirely will be rescheduled unless there is an escalation. And that a massive escalation. So hopefully we get a news from the BCCI about the reschedulement of DC PBKS and MI PBKS. Let's see when that will happen. So yep.
Okay, Priyanshu's comment we'll take. He says, Nikhil sir, Express reports there will be a new test captain on England series. Just now the report has come. Well, Priyanshu, if you remember, I had done a story a month ago saying that there is a possibility that Rohit Sharma will opt out of the England series, for which I got a lot of flack. I got a lot of flack from a lot of quarters. But as I said at that time as well, you'll have to wait and watch for the team to be announced, because people tagged me on social media and said that you're a hater, you're doing this. And I tried to tell them that I'm genuinely a very big Rohit Sharma fan. I seriously am. But as a reporter, I was just reporting what I'm hearing. So that report will still be online. You can see it. I think it was a month ago where I'd done it.
Before the start of the IPL?
No, it was during the IPL, I think. It was during the IPL, the first week or the second week or some second week of IPL. So, I mean, ideally, as we said, forget about the information we've got. If you've again watched, our regular programs, you would have seen that we were also of the same opinion.
On the web as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, I mean, that was only reportage. I mean, not my opinion. What I heard, I got that printed. But I'm saying, if you were to ask our opinion, also, we've been watching Sports Today, I think all of us were on the same page where we thought you have to have a fresh start.
Yeah, fresh. Again, we've done it, I think, a gazillion times now.
Indeed.
Okay, and final comment, Sarthak is saying, छोड़ो ये सब बारबेडोस एयरपोर्ट इंडियन फैन से मिले थे एंड पिक खिंचवाई थी व्हेन यू लैंडेड देयर इट वाज मी ओनली योर बिग फैन अरे सार्थक लवली यार टू connect with you. Are you still in Barbados or you were there watching the game? I can't remember, but I must have met Sarthak there. So Sarthak, hope you're doing well. What a lovely trip that was. India won the World Cup. So, and we flew out also of Barbados, even though after 3 days delay.
The hurricane.
After a stormy delay.
Reporting on hurricane as well. So.
Storm chaser.
Storm chaser.
had become storm chasers at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so in 18 minutes, it's KKR versus CSK. And for all people who are watching us, the drill will begin here at 8 o'clock in the Delhi NCR area.
No, not Delhi NCR, Delhi.
NDMC is New Delhi.
So no, you're not in NDMC.
Okay.
In Ghaziabad it's going to happen. It will
happen in Gurgaon also.
No, Gurgaon is doing voluntary thing. It's not done by government.
Oh, I think because Noida doesn't have a CDU of its own.
Yeah, so it's not here.
Okay.
So you can chill.
I thought it was mandatory that it would be there.
Okay, final comment. AJ is asking if all forces are called, whether MS will also be called, and how CSK 11 sheet today got leaked. It's alarming. Where are the protocols? I don't know. Has the CSK sheet leaked? I don't know.
It is in conjecture to what happened in the RCB game. CSK RCB initially Vansh Bedi's name was there. But then it was crossed out and Deepak Huda's name came at the last one because Vansh Bedi suffered an ankle injury just before the toss. And now that ankle injury has ruled Vansh Bedi out of the IPL entirely. So, are we going to see any more conspiracy theories like that in the KKR CSK encounter? We don't know.
Okay. On the MS thing, just to let you know, he's not a regular army personnel. He joined what is known as the territorial army. Okay, so territorial army is a setup in the army where regular people who may be doing regular jobs, who may have missed the bus for an NDA or an IMA, could join territorial army from whichever and serve for a period of 3 to 5 years. But that is not a
regular army unit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's called TA, territorial army. It's an army unit where you're temporarily you can serve. You could be anywhere. If you remember, Anurag Thakur also joined the TA battalion, as well as Kapil Dev. So they made honorary, captains or colonels of that. But they are not the unit that actually goes and then fights in the war. They do a few army operations, yes, but not a full-fledged unit that is required for war. And then that's a temporary position as well. It's not a permanent thing that he needs to be. And I'm sure he finished his time long ago. So he's got an honorary position.
Cricketer to get into the TA? Indian
may have been. I also remember that by that the MS story has become more popular because of his love for the army. But similar things have been done, as I said, by Kapil Dev. Anurag Thakur, who was also the BCCI president. Let's not forget Sachin Tendulkar was an honorary squadron leader or whatever designation he was given in the Indian Air Force.
Yes.
So, in fact, I was there for that function. I still remember it was done here in the Air Force station here in New Delhi. The day he was given that, in the auditorium, they had a function in Palam. Correct. Siraj is DSP, like that. So there are many.
Indeed.
Chalo, on that note, you guys take care. Look after yourself. Stay safe, all of you. And yeah, if cricket is on, Sports Today is the platform.
Indeed. Yep.
We'll be there live.
Yes. KKR versus CSK. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.